Hello and welcome. My name is Alexandra. I'm Big Life Senior Director of Development and Partnerships, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. A couple housekeeping things before we get started. Firstly, cameras and microphones are turned off. However, the Q&A section of the Zoom is open, so please drop any questions you have into that box. My colleague Michelle and Alyssa will be monitoring. We'll weave in questions as we can throughout the program and then leave some time at the end for Q&A. We're also recording today's session, so please be on the lookout for an email from Big Life later this week with that link as well as some additional resources. Lastly, thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I hope you have some fun. I first met Daniel Sambu about 8 years ago. It was on one of my first days on the job. I had flown to Kenya to learn about the amazing work that Big Life does, and Sambu invited me into his office. I remember very clearly there was a map tacked on the wall, and it had lion incidents across the entire ecosystem. And with that map as a backdrop, Sambu told me a story with such clarity and passion about how lions had made a comeback and come back from the verge of extinction in the Amboseli ecosystem. It was a story that was so remarkable to me back then. It was a story that still moves me today. I know I'm going to get chills when I hear Sambu speak. And it's a story that I know would not be possible without every single person on this call. Sambu has been with Big Life for 16 years now. He is a bona fide Big Life expert. He's a local community leader. He grew up in Mberikani, not far from Big Life's headquarters, manages our predator protection program, and in his spare time, he's invited all over Africa and the world to share his story from lion hunter to lion protector, but also the story of Big Life and how we really are creating a model where people and wildlife and lions can thrive and coexist together now and hopefully far into the future. So welcome, Sambu. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty work, I was hoping you could just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about what you do. And in particular, I'm really curious about your childhood. What was it like growing up with lions in the Maasai community?
Hi, Alexandra. Thank you and welcome everybody. Daniel Ole Sambu. You can refer me as Sambu. That's quite better. I work with Big Life Foundation as a predator protection coordinator, and I've been working here since 2009. Quite a challenging job, but I've been trying. And as Alexandra said, it was quite a very interesting moment when I met them and trying to explain how the predator compensation program works and how the community have to really trust what we do. And they come to us to really discuss all the situation on predators problems, and we handle together with them. So welcome to the discussion, and I hope you're going to enjoy it.
Thank you, Sambu. So, yeah, let's go back in the time machine. What was it like growing up as a boy in the Maasai community? What were some of your first early encounters with lions?
So, being a Maasai, I was brought up, I was born here, I was educated here. And when I was growing up, we never thought wildlife can really be something meaningful. We never saw wildlife, especially predators that kill our livestock. We never see them as something that is of value to us. So every time the predators attack our livestock, it means we have to protect them. The very role a boy is given from a family, from a Maasai family, is to protect livestock from any aggression, including predators. So if you kill a cow, if you touch our sheep and goat, it means the boy has to protect. So at the younger age, I see wildlife as something else. Livestock is our livelihood. So if anything happened to my livestock, to the family livestock, I have to 100% make sure I protect them. Then I grew up, I undergo the rite of passage and become a warrior. Now, the culture demands that being a warrior, you have to find a way to kill a lion to prove that you are a man, to prove that you are brave, to prove that you are strong. So at that age, I also wanted to show the family that I'm ripe enough to become a warrior. I tried several times, and I can say several times. And because of my schedule being in school, it's just in a small period of a holiday that I try to become a warrior. Then all of a sudden I have to go back to school. I couldn't manage to kill a lion. I tried, but I couldn't. But all in all, I still remain high because I didn't kill a lion, but I went to school. And then all of a sudden, because I didn't kill a lion, I feel so much embarrassed as far as the family and the cultural values are concerned. I feel embarrassed, but I said, it is okay. I'm not the only one. You can imagine a population of more than 15,000 people. Everybody want to kill a lion. But there were fewer lions than the people who want to kill the lions. So I said, I'm not alone. And we move on. And I couldn't kill a lion, and it ended like that. I went to school and come back. Then around 2009, I was given a call and I joined Big Life to come and protect lions.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sambu, so much for sharing that. So, what I'm hearing is that it's really two things. Livestock were so important to your family that it was your duty to protect them, but also it's a mark of bravery and a rite of passage as a warrior to try and hunt a lion. So, from that place where you were growing up, fast forward, we get to, early 2000s, 2003, and there's fewer than 20 lions left in the entire ecosystem. That's really hard for me to even believe because when I travel to Kenya, one of the things that it sticks with me so long after I come back is that sound of lions roaring in the night. It must have been a really quiet ecosystem. But then fast forward, 20 years, we have 250 lions, this thriving lion population. So what happened? That's an incredible turnaround. What happened from this culture when you were younger of hunting lions and protecting your livestock to this place where the ecosystem is thriving again with predators? I know the Predator Compensation Fund that you lead played a big role, but again, can you tell us what happened?
Around 2003, the census for the national census, the local census around Amboseli shows that we had less than 15 lions in the whole ecosystem. So lions and other predators are nearing extinction. And the elders then approached Big Life Foundation. By then it was another name, but it was Big Life Foundation. And they said, I think we can do something because we depend on revenue from tourism, and we are losing revenue to other areas with lions. Having less than 15 lions in the whole ecosystem, 2 million acres, was really embarrassing. So when the elders came to Big Life Foundation and said we can do something, they were asked then, what shall we do? And the cause for extinction was actually poisoning and spearing in retaliation. Both of them, poisoning and retaliation, and spearing is because of retaliation. But there was also the traditional wanting of young warriors to prove that they're warriors. So even a lion haven't killed a cow, they're still in the bush trying to kill that lion. So around 2003, a discussion started and a very, very bright idea came up. And they said, what if we pay some money? That is the elders. What if we pay some money for any cow that is killed by lions? And then we can go around the ranch. Ranch is where now the community live, and tell them that there is no retaliation. Just report to us when your cow is killed and you will be paid some money, not the market value, just some money to say sorry for what has happened. But then so that we have a bigger population of lion in this area, then tourism will thrive and we'll have more employment and more bursaries and more everything. And then they said, let's try. And 2003 April, they tried. They went around. 2004, they went around and educate the community on the agreement. And then around 2005, they said, now, the lion is not actually a bigger problem. There are smaller predators who are even more troublesome than lion. And all predators, including the small cats, were all included in the compensation fund. And that is how Predator Compensation Fund started. Starting with conserving the lion as a keystone species, and then now it covers all predators, including two non-predators, the elephant and the buffalo. Because sometimes people will wonder, why should you include the elephant and buffalo? During the dry season like now, 2 days ago, we had to verify two sheep trampled by an elephant. They were all struggling to get some twigs from a tree, and the sheep were killed. And the buffalo and the cows, they have to struggle to get some water somewhere. So we said we need to cover buffalo and elephant as non-predators, but all other predators, including the small cats, have to be covered. And that is how it all started. The idea, the main goal was to reduce retaliation or stop it 100%. And number two, to bring up the population of lions. So as you mentioned, we started when we thought the population of lion is less than 15 in the whole 2 million acres ecosystem. And now the approximate number is between 250 to 300. We're just waiting for a census that is going on to confirm whether we are at 300.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you, Sambu. And the part of that story that I love so much is the community-driven piece. So this was an idea hatched from community leaders, brought forward to Big Life, this real partnership to save predators. We actually have a really short video I want to play. This highlights a few different people that Sambu just referenced, community leaders, community members that are working together to save lions and predators. We'll see this video that has a senior chief from Mberekani, one of Big Life's verification officers that actually works on the Predator Compensation Fund, and then two women who are going to give a message in Ma, the local language, who are on the Predator Compensation Fund Committee. So let's take a quick look at that now.
PCF has been a backbone of our livelihood, in Mberekani ever since it started. So it has been very helpful, and we cannot really do without it. So we hope it's going to continue helping the members of Mberekani Group Ranch. Ever since I was a young boy, the PCF was not there, and so the killing of the lions was so rampant. They were killing them. But since the last over 20 years, ever since the PCF started, PCF, the project, the PCF, has really helped the community, helped the people, and they've refrained. They are not really killing the lions, and they are all over.
Hello everyone, I'm Simon Mutuakani. I'm a Kamba from Makueni, Makindu. I'm currently working in Big Life Foundation company as a verification officer. I have now 5 years in the company working as a verification officer. It's quite well because where I come from, we don't have such things, and when the predators attack our cattle, there's a lot of very problems because in our area we don't have this project of compensation. So there's a big difference between here and where I come from.
Tenkaraki esiai natareto naa community ombirikani eimu naa esiai oong'uesi. Neeku enashe kaishorita donors ajoki ashe naleng tenkaraki ina siai.
Thank you. Sambu, I hope, shed some light on this video? So help us understand the different people that we just saw. And in particular, I'm really curious about the verification process and the verification officer we just saw.
So it's good. It's very good to understand how we do it, because this is one of the most unique projects we have in the country now. Everybody is coming to try and learn from Big Life how we do our verification process to the compensation side. Now, the idea is your cow is killed, you make a call to the office, then the office will notify one guy who resides in the village who is called the predator scout. The predator scout will arrive at the scene of crime, verify, and then call the office again. Then the office will dispatch a motorbike with two guys, one Maasai, one non-Maasai, as Mutua is trying to explain there. The two guys have to really be there within 24 hours, because we have to get all information. How this livestock was killed, which predator is involved. So once they arrive, they are armed with a camera, a GPS, and a smartphone. And once they arrive, then we have about 4 people at the scene of crime. We have the owner, we have the predator scout, and the 2 verification officers. Sometimes also we encourage the zone representative. The zone representative is selected by the community to represent them. So if there is an issue, he will also be present, but it's not a must. Then the 4 people then will make a decision. Is this livestock was taken by force, or was taken inside the enclosure, the boma, or it was lost in the bush? Once the decision is arrived, the verification team will issue what we call a credit note. A credit note shows exactly how your livestock was killed, the GPS location, the photos, and the amount you are going to be paid. It's all indicated in the credit note. It's not me in the office to try and bargain on how much I'm going to pay you. It's all indicated in the credit note. And that is the transparency that has kept this program going for a very long period. It's not me to decide how much I'm going to pay you. Then from there, the owner sign, the verification team sign, and then they bring the data to the office. From there, after 2 months only, after the data of what has happened in 2 months is collected, the amount that is supposed to be paid, we call all the beneficiaries, the people who have really lost their livestock in the 2 months period. They will come to the office and we pay them directly. The 2 leaders, the women and the chief, they act as the advisory board. They act like a court, a small court. Suppose there is a disagreement between the verification team and the owner of the livestock, then they have another chance. The owner of the livestock have another chance to come in front of a court-like session, the advisory committee, and explain what has happened. The advisory will tell, the owner of the livestock will tell their story, and the verification team will tell their story, because verification team can say, we can't give you a no penalty. A no penalty is a full payment. And the owner will say, I need a full payment. Or the verification team will say, this cow was killed by a hyena. And the owner will complain and say, the cow was killed by a lion, because a lion has a higher value than the hyena, for obvious reason. A lion can take a cow by force. A hyena, if you have a very experienced herder, somebody looking after your livestock, can chase the hyena away. So when such kind of dispute arises, we have a court-like session. And that's why we have a government chief like Joseph and the 2 women to represent the women interests, so that women can also air voices and they can tell us what is happening. This advisory committee goes even beyond predation. They can even advise Big Life on other issues like bursaries and scholarship and what other development project that will happen. Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. Then after 2 months, we call upon everybody who have lost their livestock to come for payment.
Amazing. And one thing that we chatted about yesterday, Sambu, that I think is really important is that with these payments, a portion of the payments is contributed from the community directly. So there's not only buy-in culturally and in practice, but actually financially as well from the community, correct?
Yes, this is a partnership project so that the community will have a sense of ownership. They are contributing 30% of all the claims. So every 2 months, the claims that we collect the data for and analyze for the 2 months, the community is contributing 30%. The only thing they don't contribute is the management, which is left 100% for Big Life to handle because of the sensitivity, the transparency, accountability, and enforcing the PCF agreement, which is very, very aggressive. So people have to be very sensitive. But the whole program, the whole compensation program is a partnership program. The community is contributing 30% of all the total claims.
Incredible. We have a question, Sambu, that just came in for the audience that says, are livestock owners compensated no matter where the livestock is killed, whether it's inside or outside the boma or compound?
Yes. Provided you are within our area of operation, because we also have borders. We don't have an open agreement that a lion can create territory and go maybe up to 100 kilometers away outside the Mbirikani Group Ranch, outside the Selengei Group Ranch. Those are the two ranches, main ranches we work now. If it happened outside these two ranches, that is a different thing. We will handle it just being a conservation organization. But once it happen within the ranches, we have the MOU with them. We have the agreement with them and signed by their leaders, whether it is inside Boma or inside the enclosure or outside, you are compensated for. But the amount could be very different. If it is outside Boma, that means lost in the bush. That is negligence. We have to penalize you. You have to look after your livestock the best way you could. If it is inside Boma, yes, we will also come and look at your Boma. Boma means the enclosure. So we also have to come and look at your Boma. It's not just some small tweaks and say, this is my Boma and this is where my livestock are. You have to reinforce your enclosure to the standard we think at least the predator cannot try to go into. So we have to be no money for free. That is it. No money for free.
Thanks, Sambu. That's really important. And I do love this agreement. I've looked at it before, and it really clearly states out the compensation, the different stipulations, the protections the livestock owner needs to take. So we do have one other short video to show. I think this will really help speak to and show what we've been discussing. The person speaking in this video is one of Big Life's staff members, Mercy. I think this is someone you know quite well, Sambu. She facilitates the payout days for the predator compensation program. So let's take a look at what that looks like.
Hi, my name is Mercy Sintoya, working with Big Life Foundation under the Monitoring and Evaluation Department. One of my roles involves working on the PCF data that we basically use for the payment. So during the paydays, the community members come with their identification card, which always work as a proof of what was verified during the verification. And that really helps us to be sure that it's the owner who would be collecting their money. During the process, we use the thumbprint as a signature because of the high levels of illiteracy. And it's also not time consuming because at times you'd find that those days we have like more than 100 people coming for the compensation. From my experience over the few years that I've taken part in preparing the data and taking part in the payment process, the community is really appreciative and it's a peaceful, fair, and like a vigorous process because the member knows what they need to receive from the moment they are coming for the payday. Thank you.
That was really helpful. Sambu, piggybacking off that video, I know you keep livestock yourself. You must have lost livestock over the year to lions. Can you share a little bit more? Why are livestock so important to Maasai and Maasai communities?
Livestock is an integral part of a Maasai community. Then the Maasai have that sentimental attachment with the livestock. They love their livestock so much. So every time a cow or sheep or goat is killed, it is a livelihood lost. They really feel very bad. Every time a cow has been attacked by lions or any other predator, a sheep or goat is attacked, it's really very painful to them. And that's why warriors are tasked to go and look for whichever predator is involved. So what normally happens is the Maasai and livestock, you cannot separate them. That's what we say in Kenya. You cannot separate Maasais and their livestock. Whether you are educated or not, livestock means a lot. It is their livelihood. It's a moving bank. It is bursaries. I mean, it is school fees for their kids. It is food on the table for the family. It is anything you want to do to the family. You want to build a house. You want to marry another wife. You want to take your kid to the best school possible. It's all because of the livestock. So anything that cause harm, anything that kill a cow, a sheep or goat, will be an enemy to that particular community called the Maasai. So what normally happens is how we build trust with these communities, how we make the program very effective. It is only in 2 months we call them, come and pick your money. And they will come here very happy, open, and if they have issues, we give them a forum to talk to us. That is how the trust between us and the community is built. They talk to us, they advise us, and we move together as a team.
Incredible. In earlier conversations I've had with you, I've heard you use this analogy of livestock being a moving bank for the Maasai, and it always sticks with me because I can imagine if my money was in this moving bank in my backyard and it was attacked and it was the way that I sent my children to school, put food on the table for them, how emotional I would feel. But it sounds like these attitudes towards lions have not only changed with you, Sambu, but with the entire community. I know there's a story that we've been circulating internally about Big Life that I think really illustrates this with a recent lion cub. Maybe you want to share that with the group, Sambu?
Quite interesting, Alexandra and everybody. 2 days ago, now this lioness, I don't know what happened, but the cub was lost and the community found the cub. And one of the community member, I was so amazed to find out that the guy who actually spotted the cub was one of the beneficiary of our scholarship program. And he reported to Rangers, and the Rangers called the headquarters, and we had to send the Rangers immediately. But even before the Rangers arrived, the community have already built a wall. They have already put the young guys around and say, don't interfere with the cub, don't kill the cub until Big Life arrives. And we sent the Rangers. And the cub was picked, brought to the headquarters. It was handled very well. And yesterday, immediately we finished our talk. Yesterday, they took it to the Kimana Sanctuary. It was about 25 kilometers from where it was first spotted into Kimana Sanctuary, the nearest sanctuary. And the mama with the other 3 cubs, when the cub was dropped, the cub was immediately accepted into the family. It was so interesting. But what really touches us is how the community believes that these lions have to survive, despite the fact that they are killing their livestock. They still believe the lion belongs to them. They have to survive together. They have to coexist together. They didn't want to kill. In the other situation before this program started, they will have killed it because they will say this is another enemy coming up. But now they don't. They have to report to us. And when we report to them that the small cub is now reunited with the family, they are so happy. They were so happy. Many of them will want to see the lioness and the two cubs. Imagine a whole community want to go and see whether it is true this cub has been accepted by the family. It's quite interesting. The family and the community has a lot of trust on what Big Life is doing. They really trust our rangers. They really love what we are, what the community and the rangers, the relationship they have with the rangers is quite strong. That every other time they always call Big Life Rangers for help.
That's amazing. I don't think there's anything that illustrates this cultural change and this attitude switch towards lions than hearing about a community building a wall around a lion cub that they know in the future will become a predator and maybe a threat to their livestock and their livelihoods. I'm so excited about this story, and it's actually going to be out on our social media pretty soon. So everyone on this call just got the insider scoop, but there is some really great footage and video clips like Sambu mentioned. So please check that out. Sambu, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Alexandra, I'm just seeing some very funny questions about the bees, people trying to protect livestock from predators. You can't use bees to protect livestock from lions, but we use bees as a deterrent for elephants trying to get into farms. We use all of this. We are not only dealing with predators, we are dealing with all wildlife. We want to make sure that any wild animal coming out of the government protected area is also protected, elephants and alike. And it is important to note here, even if it's not about other wildlife here today, that Big Life have lost the last elephant to commercial poachers in 2018. That is the record we have. This is one area you can't joke with poaching. We are serious about it. Wildlife has to be protected, and the community is involved 100%.
That's incredible. Sambu, I know that many people on this call have personally supported Big Life over the years. They are the reason that we hear these numbers of the drops in poaching and the protection of lions and bringing lions back from the edge of extinction. How do people on this call let them know how they actually have helped these stories be true?
Let me just say, the first thing I must say is thank you very much. Whatever you have done, whatever you are giving as a support to this organization is really working. You are helping not only a local community that support conservation, but you are protecting wildlife. You have stopped poaching. I mentioned that the last commercial poaching for ivory was recorded in 2018. And up to now, what we are doing is trying to stop illegal wildlife trade, trying to stop maybe small subsistent poaching. People still want to eat giraffe. People still want to eat big. And that is what we are doing now. Whatever you are supporting to us is really a very big thing you are doing. You are saving the voiceless. You are speaking for the voiceless. You are protecting wildlife. You are supporting a community that have decided to give space for conservation. This means that 80% of wildlife that is coming from the government protected parts will go into this community land. What you are doing is you are supporting coexistence. People are accepting wildlife into their lands without any problem. Livestock, zebras, wild beasts, giraffes, and elephants grazing together with our cows. And we have no problems. It's so interesting also to note that even with your support, sometime Big Life support boreholes with diesel, support borehole with somebody to make sure there is water in the truck for wildlife. in the evening, just to make sure that people don't see wildlife as a threat, but as part of their livelihood. They are bringing a lot of benefit to them. And it is because of your support that we have rangers that have stopped poaching, that we have a scholarship program that is running, and that we have a compensation program that is compensating for livestock that is killed by predators, so that people don't think about retaliation.
Thank you, Sambu. I echo everything that you just said. I have the honor of speaking with so many of our donors and supporters and many people on this call, and I can say they are passionate and excited and so committed and believe in our mission. So I offer my heartfelt thanks as well. I want to make sure we get to this this one other question before we jump into the Q&A with the audience. Sambu, what are the biggest challenges we face on the ground today? You were just speaking about how the national park, Amboseli National Park, we have a map here. If you pull it up, it's actually quite small compared to the rest of the ecosystem. So lions and all wildlife, they truly depend on these community lands. They can't be confined into the national park. And so it's big life in these local partnerships that allow them to have the space to migrate, to hunt, to find food and water. What are the biggest challenges today that you see for lions as you look at this map?
Very good. Thank you. And it's good that you asked that question, because I'm seeing another question from one of the listeners here, and it's about the same. We have planned to expand our compensation program to some other areas. And you can see from the map, the black dots means an incident, a scene of crime of a certain period. Normally, it's 2 years or even 3 years. But it is where the concentration of all the incidences happen. Why it's not moving into some other areas is because our program is not covering all the areas. But we have some very areas of interest. You can see Amboseli National Park, and then up north, there is a proposed PCF expansion. That is an area we are looking into. We are actually now trying to fundraise to pay leases for this area. Leases means we want to make sure that the community do not move into this area, but they can graze their livestock in this area. And that means we have to expand our predator compensation fund into this area and pay for lions moving into this area if they kill livestock. It's a very interesting area, very, very interesting area, very busy with elephants, with lions, with hyenas. And you can see it's a connection between Amboseli and then Birikani into Chulu National Park. So we have to move into this area if our fundraising efforts will really be very good. And there is other areas. I know the map it's just focusing on this area, but that is one of the challenges. Many people are calling for us to go into these areas. Other things that we are doing is that lions being lions, they create territories. So they move out of our area of operation into new areas. We are now dealing with another situation, and I must mention here, of a lioness with a cub that has killed 64 sheep and goat. When I mention short, it's 60. When I mention sheep and goat, I mean short, it's sheep and goat. And it killed this sheep and goat outside our area of operation. But the member of the owner of the livestock is actually a member of Mbirikani. So we really have to go out of our way to save the lioness, but also to educate the community why they shouldn't kill that lioness. So we have to find a way, not really to do compensation, but just to give that family something to support and to show them that we are together. We are part of that family. And the owner, the young boy who owns part of the livestock, is a beneficiary of our scholarship program. So we really have to step in any other time, not actually within our area of operation, even outside our area of operation. People will call us. They will call me every other time. They will call my bosses, Craig and Richard Bonham, every other time to say something has happened and we must do something. And we have to step in, not really as our function, but just to show them we are together so that they can listen to us when there is a bigger problem.
Thank you, Sambu. And we're speaking about numbers here. One of the questions we have from the audience is, what's roughly the annual budget for PCF?
Approximately between 350,000 US and 400, depending on whether we have renegotiated the values, because it normally happens after every 2 or 3 years. So depending on that and the cost, because like I said, 2 months now, September, October is extremely very bad. Livestock have moved from permanent bombers into non-permanent bombers, and a lot of incursion, a lot of predation is happening. So the value will really go up. So it's between 350,000 US to 400,000 US, and it normally goes around there.
Thank you, Sambu. Given we only have a couple minutes left before we get to the hour, I want to get to a couple more of these questions from the audience. One of them we got early on was, what makes Amboseli so incredibly unique from other parts in Kenya? This person, Julie, says she's seen it firsthand, but she just wants to hear from you, why is the Amboseli ecosystem so incredible?
Very, very, very interesting. I think it's one of the smallest the smallest park in the Republic. It was declared by UNESCO as Man and Biosphere. It's one area that is supporting agriculture, livestock, tourism at the same time, or wildlife. It's one area that you could see all the big five in 1 hour. So you can come in, do your game drive, and in 1 hour you are done. You will see elephants, you will see Mount Kilimanjaro, and you will see the Maasai, and you will see everything you need, and you get tired and go and sleep. It is also one area that supports both livestock keepers, farmers, and the people who depend on wildlife, the tourists. It's one area that you can come in and you think you're coming to an urban area, then all of a sudden you are in a very, very remote area. So what makes Amboseli actually is one of the best park that earn a lot of revenue to the government. Actually, it's the second revenue earner after Nakuru National Park. Amboseli is a very unique area where you get the Maasai, Mount Kilimanjaro, and wildlife. And if you are interested, there is agriculture and livestock.
Incredible. The only place where I disagree with you, Sambu, I think after you see the big five, you should go have a famous Kenyan sundowner, not go to sleep. That's the only the only spot I'm
Yeah,
in.
have some beer, have some Tusker and White Cups and relax. Yeah.
Exactly, and watch the sunset.
Yeah.
We have another question. Is there enough natural wild food for the lions other than livestock?
A lot. We have a lot of large herbivores, zebras, wild beasts, giraffes, ostriches. They're all there. But lion being a very lazy animal, they always go for an easy kill, and most of the time, livestock become a culprit of it. The lion will always go for livestock than the larger herbivores. But there are plenty of them, a lot.
Okay, great. And then another one, in the case of smaller livestock, are there dogs in the area that complicate the process of identifying who the culprit might be?
Yeah, sometimes yes, but our verification teams are very good at identifying who really caused the death. There are instances where even the vultures can kill the lambs and the kids of the goat and sheep, but our verification team are up to it because there are some that we don't cover in our program. So the dogs, the cat, the other domestic cat, they are not all covered here. So we have the dogs in our homes and they don't kill young shots, but they can step in when the sheep or the lamb or kids have been killed. They can step in and the footprint can complicate which wild animal is involved. But our verification teams are up to date. They are trained on what to do in that case.
Great. And I do want to highlight that Big Life puts out some amazing annual reports. We also put out quarterly reports. They're all available to the public, and it is an incredible source of transparent information about how many livestock were killed, the type of livestock, the type of predator that was responsible. It's, again, very transparent. And I think it's incredibly just insightful and gives you that really insider glimpse into our work. Along those lines, we have another question, Sambu. Anne Marie asked, are there lots of cases of compensation in a year? So do you just have a ballpark? I know every year it's different depending on drought or the circumstances, but what kind of compensation levels are we talking about?
Alexander, that's very true. Sometimes we have between 1,800 to 2,500 livestock in a year, depending on whether the dry season was very bad and a lot of livestock had been killed. But between 1,800 to 2,500 livestock every year. So yeah, that's the trend normally goes up and down.
Thank you. And you've talked a lot about what Big Life's role is, what the verification officers, the rangers, the community members. We have a question about the government. What does the local government or even the national government do to help the community members and some of these conflict issues in the Amboseli ecosystem?
It's important to note that we work outside the government protected area, but the law says that all wildlife belong to the government. Surprisingly, they don't support our compensation program, not even a shilling from government coming into a compensation program. But what we do is, Big Life being Big Life, we bring them on board. We want them to be part of the program, especially if there is a very high level conflict. We call on Kenya Wildlife Service to be part of the team. We have a lion conservation consortium. We do work together. We give them updates so that if there is any management issue, if there is anything that is arising up, like we need to translocate a lion or a lioness that is so much troublesome, it is the government to make the final decision. So we work together. We advise each other. Even when the lioness was reunited with the cub, they are all involved in the whole 100% process, from when the cub was picked to when the cub was reunited with the family. But the funding into this program, they don't, because they also have their own compensation program, very slow. We don't know how it works, so I don't want to touch on it. But yes, we work very closely with them, but not at the level that they can fund some of our activities.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Sambu, you've mentioned a couple times the education program and different people in the community being recipients of the scholarship program, and that was part of the motivation for them refraining from retaliating or, partnering with Big Life. We have a question about the scholarship program specifically. Can you just speak a little bit more about what that program is and how it plays a role in the community?
So I want to mention about two programs, Alexandra, if you can allow me, I know for the interest of time. Let me mention about the Maasai Olympics. After a very successful compensation program, there was a problem because Maasai being a cultured community, the young Maasai warriors still want to compete on who can kill a lion. So we introduced a cultural-based sport called the Maasai Olympics. The Maasai Olympics, if you go to the YouTube, is warriors decided that they are not going to compete on who will kill lions, but they will compete on who will win a race, who will win a target, a jump, javelin. And they agreed, together with their leaders, they agreed with us that we are going to stop lion killing, but let us now do the Maasai Olympics to win money, to win gold medals, and they become popular as it is supposed to be if they kill the lion. So it's a very interesting program, and that is up and running now. And it's part of the program that is supporting lion conservation. It's called the Maasai Olympics. Now, on scholarship program, the second program that we introduced to have direct benefit to the local community is the scholarship program. This is one community that is below 80% illiteracy level. People here, not many of them can complete their education. Then we say, why don't we then use our friends, use our supporters, people who are interested to support our education, to come on board. Let us have the kids from less fortunate families who have a lot of, who can get very good grades to go into high school, to go into universities. Then we take them through to complete that education. And we started with 21 kids. And now we are talking about 486 students in the program. Very, very interesting. Now, every year we are graduating between 10 and 15 every year. We have beneficiaries in the high school, middle level colleges and universities. And these guys, when they complete their education, they come back and support Big Life. And they tell their community, if not you guys accepting wildlife in your land, I will not have completed this education. And, it has become part and parcel of our program that I cannot speak about PCF without actually mentioning about the scholarship program. Everything is direct. You support education, you support our livestock, then that is it. And it has really worked. We now have about, I'm told the numbers we have now of graduates from these scholarship programs nearing 2,000, which is very, very interesting.
That's incredible. I absolutely love the scholarship program too. Every time I travel to Kenya, I often see a line outside of Richard Bonham, our co-founder's door, and he says that most often it's people coming to talk to him about the scholarship program, how they can get their children on the list. We've heard heartbreaking stories about people selling their livestock to put their children through school, which, as you've heard from Sambu, livestock are everything to them. So this is just a testament to how powerful education and their families are. So I agree with you, Sambu. It all really goes hand in hand and creates these benefits around conservation. We have another question here about the Maasai Olympics. When do they occur? I think it was answered in the chat as well, but I want to note we do have some amazing videos on our website, one of which is about the Maasai Olympics. Sambu's actually featured in it, so it brings it to life. But Sambu, can you talk a little bit more about the Maasai Olympics? When does it occur? And just, what's the day like? The final is pretty incredible. So what's the energy around that event?
So here is one event that we thought the community will not understand, but in around 2008, the elders came in around the campfire and we talk about how can we then tell the young generation that we have this agreement of not killing lions. Then all of a sudden, the elders started thinking, and after several meetings, they said, why don't we try sports? And Maasais are Kenyans, they're very good in athletics. They're very good in running. They're very good in jumping, spear throwing. They're very good in target aiming. And they said, yeah, let's try. One of the things why people try to kill lion is they want to become popular. They want to prove that they are warriors. They want to be famous, and the issue of girlfriends. And we thought, why don't we then tell them sports can do the same? And we bring in one of the Maasai warrior, who is a world-renowned athlete, David Rudisha. He's a two-time world champion, world record holder in 800 meters. And he come and talk to them and say, you guys, you're thinking about the lions, and I'm just running on the tracks, and I earn millions, I become popular, and I can do anything in the world now. And people then say, this is the way. And the leaders, the traditional leaders, And the fathers of the warriors, they said, this is what we have to do. And we have even the elders now saying anybody going against this wish will be a very big curse. And we all agreed. Then all of a sudden, the first incident, the first Maasai Olympics, we saw around 3,000 people coming into a wilderness to witness warriors running. And people, the warriors themselves, they thought it's not happening. And then all of a sudden, people crying, people, people not happy about what has happened. Others are celebrating. You have money on your pocket. You have the medal. People are talking about you, and then it just happened. We have the compensation program, and we have the Maasai Olympic supporting each other. One taking care of the economic losses, the other one taking of the cultural beliefs of lion hunting. So people now are thinking about hunting for medal and money, not lions.
Thank you, Sambu. I love that program. I'm so happy you brought it up because they do go so hand in hand together. We just have about 2 minutes before we need to close. So before I give closing remarks, Sambu, can you just end us on a high note? Tell us what this work means to you.
I have always said, when I started working with Big Life, I thought I was just getting an employment. Then all of a sudden I said, how come this work is going so much into my heart that it's not about employment? It's me now working for my community. I'm giving service back to the community. I know I'm a livestock keeper. I lost livestock to predation. I don't feel very bad, but I can see a family member feeling very bad. And now I'm working to protect the same lion I was supposed to hunt at the younger age. I'm talking to my sons. I'm talking to other people that it is time to save lions, not time to attack lions. Lions have the same right as your cows and sheep and goat to live in this ecosystem as it was created by God. And now I'm here standing in between a community that's supposed to kill lions, and I belong to that community, and I'm now here talking to them and telling them it is time to save every living thing, including lions and hyenas. I think the difficult animal to protect here is the hyena. um, we have to do it. And the community have really listened to us. I think I mentioned somewhere, not today, but I mentioned somewhere about an incident where hyena break into a very good boma and killed 30 sheep and goat. One incident, one hyena. And the community didn't kill that hyena. They just call me at midnight and say, now come and pick your hyena. They have killed this number of shot. And I told them, where is the hyena? And they said, we didn't kill it. And said, okay, I'm going to verify and I'm going to compensate for your livestock. It's just giving me a lot of satisfaction working for both wildlife, livestock, and my community.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sambu, for joining us today, for sharing your incredible story. You are such a big part of the reason we can still hear lions roaring in Amboseli. To everyone on this call, thank you on behalf of the entire Big Life team. We are so grateful for your support. This is shared success. You make these stories possible. We're going to send a follow-up email later this week with the link to this in case you want to watch it again. There'll be some additional resources. There'll also be a survey. Please take it. It'll help us know what we did good, what we could improve upon, and also what you might want to see in future events. Please reach out to us at any time at team@biglife.org. You can also email me personally at alexandra@biglife.org. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Sambu.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for listening to us, and please, let's continue working together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.